and you're staying positive, and all of this stuff, but still it doesn't seem to happen.
Oh, well, I can tell you my first experience networking. It was horrific. It was the same thing as corporate. I walked in, people said, "What do you do?" I said, "I'm a sales trainer." And one of two reactions happened. The men started laughing, thinking a woman couldn't possibly know enough to train. And the women ran away from me shrieking because they don't like the word sales or sell. And that's when you recognize, gee, I said something wrong. And you have to self-educate. So for me, it was a journey on how to market better, including how to express myself better. And you learn from the negative. If you're willing to learn, it's a good experience.
Yeah,
that's what happened.
All life is learning. All experiences are learning. The only difference is how you respond to that learning.
Exactly.
If you decide to look at it negatively and see it as a failure, or if you decide to say, okay, this is something that I'm benefiting from, and seeing that benefit, although it may not be obvious at the time.
Right, you wonder why me, but you said something. Some people have asked me in the past, how do I handle failure? And I said, it's real simple. Change your vocabulary from failure to marketing research. And once you make that mental adjustment, it's a piece of cake.
Absolutely. Words and thoughts and words are just so important. They're central to how we are inside and how we show up on the outside.
Yeah.
So, do you talk about sales now?
I do. And actually, I've always done a gentle style of sale. And may I tell you how this got started?
Yeah.
When I was first hired, the men did everything in their arena to get me to quit. I mean, you cannot believe the nasty tricks that went on. And so there was no training and no one speaking to me on top of everything, and I had never sold before. So when I was lucky enough to get an appointment, I would ask people why they invited me in. I didn't even know a sales cycle existed. And I just got to know people on a personal level. And finally, at the 3-month mark, they said, if you just bring a brochure in, we'll buy from you. And that's how I became the top producer. I used my skills as, entertaining at home. I used to have a lot of dinner parties. So I used those skills in the office. And I tell people, when you enter an office, it's like you're a guest in their home, and treat people accordingly. So all of that, the relationship building, that's what works online today.
Yeah. It's that the word that came to my mind there was authenticity. It's that being authentic, being yourself.
Exactly. And unfortunately, in the sales world, the good news, bad news is what made me stand out.
Yeah. And people were ready for that, I suppose. People are ready to. They're fed up with being sold to, the hard sell.
Exactly. And online, it's about attraction selling. So you put out good content in all different ways possible, and people find you. And that's how opportunity comes about. So yes, to answer your question, I talk about sales and how it applies to whatever the subject matter may be.
Yeah. And do you have a specific audience now, Eleanor, that you address to?
My preferred audience are those who really want to improve where they're at today. So those who are motivated to make a difference.
Yeah. So in whatever field, however they are, they've chosen to do that.
You have to know how to present your information. It's about communication, whether online, in person, and anyone open to new ideas.
Wonderful. That's wonderful. I'm thinking about, you mentioned when we first started talking about resumes, about getting yourself sort of out there. So what specifically, what advice, what sort of tips could you share now with the viewers about being more effective?
On the resume? I'm not an expert in that area, but definitely highlight the awards or anything special you have done.
Right.
And for me, I always kept it short so that they would be interested and want to have a conversation with me in person.
Yeah, it's about making that difference as well, isn't it?